Shalom and good day all, this is Tehillim29 back again for another DC review, and for this DC review I'll be covering Tom Taylor's Titans and also Nightwing, and I want to point out that these will be the last issues I'll be collecting of this series, and of both of them, even though there is still some Beast World content that is meant to be coming out, which I still could end up reviewing. We'll see how things go here, especially in regards to the future, and by the time this video comes out. So moving into first things first, and that is the first one I'll be reviewing. So for the first one I'll be reviewing, I'll be covering Nightwing issue 110. And I'll try to get a cover up here of the second cover, which I have gotten ordered through my LCS. And starting off with first things first, do these covers in any way, shape or form connect to something that is happening inside with the story? Yes, the first one does, but even though the second one doesn't, I actually enjoy it more. So for the first cover, I give it a 6 out of 10. And for the second cover, I give it an 8 out of 10. I'll now get things organized to show the internal art around the beginning, middle, and of course the end. So as we start to move towards the beginning of the story, we are at Arkham Tower, and we are told that this is meant to be day one of the Beast World event. And we end up catching up with one of the characters who has a similar disease to, or who had a similar disease to Garth, or in other words, Beast Boy, when he was younger. And as you can see here, she's also eaten of basically of previous animals, and also tattooed them on her skin, and we do learn that at the beginning. As we start to jump towards the middle of the story, of course we end up having John Kent turn up on the scene along with Nightwing, and in the process we have them trying to prevent Cat Damien from attacking and harming someone else who has been turned into an animal via these spores. And last but not least, we move towards the end of the story, to which we get to see John Kent, and also more talk and conversation with Damien, and also some of the things that are happening at the Gotham Zoo. For the internal art, I give it a 7 out of 10. Now it's time to move in relation to the area of the story. We are given a comic, the things that are covered in the story are comic references, time, location, and cast. Starting with the first one, because of how far we are in the Nightwing series, and that is comic references. We know that this is connected to the Beast World, so this is practically a Beast World tie-in. Next is the area of time, to which we have day one, 3 days later, and also hours later being used. The location in the story we had Gotham, the Arkham Tower, we had the Iceberg Lounge, a place called the Pit, which was an old hockey rink. We had the Gotham prison, along with the Gotham Zoo. The key cast of characters consisting of Nightwing, Superman, John Kent, and of course Damian Wayne. For the overall story rating in this, I give it a 4.5 out of 10, as I have completely lost interest with what Tom Taylor is doing here. And if he really wants to start to get me back on board again, how about he just finishes off the Heartless storyline, because this has become heartless storytelling. So as we move into Titans issue 7, does this cover in any way, shape or form connect to something that is happening inside with the story? In some essence it does, to which I give it a 7 out of 10. Now it's time to move into the next thing, which is the internal art and also what's happening story-wise with the characters. So as the story begins, there's a bit of a fight at the Titans Watchtower, to which we get to see Starfire have a fight with her fellow Thanagarian, who was also once her bodyguard. As we advance a little bit further within the story, we see more of a fight scene take place between the two as she tries to usurp her authority over him. Moving into the next couple of things, we also end up catching up with Wally West Flash, who has also, along with many others, who has noticed that Dick Grayson has been turned into a fox, care of the spores. And last but not least, we see that Raven has sent this Thanagarian into the Phantom Zone, to which I don't think it should be a part of her power set. I think for something like that, it's not really suited to Raven, and if anything, it breaks her character and basically destroys what she has been known for before. So for the internal art, I give it a 7 out of 10. Now it's time to move into relation to the area of the story. And with this story, we did get a comic book reference, to which this actually ties into Titans Beast World. Next is the area of time, to which we have minutes later being used later towards the end of the book. The location to which we get to see this take place in is Titan's Tower. It didn't indicate which Titan's Tower in the DC universe, even though we know presently it's meant to be in Bloodhaven. So for all we know, the Titan's Tower mentioned here could have been any one of, I think it's 5 to 7 Titan's Towers in the DC universe. And a majority of them in the US. Surprised that they haven't got any overseas yet. Next is the cast of characters, consisting of the main Titans, being Cyborg, Raven, Starfire, of course, Brother Eternity. We had Batgirl, who was also acknowledged as Oracle in the story. If you're going to call her Oracle, put her back in the wheelchair. And if you're going to have a go as Batgirl, let her just be Batgirl. I'm sorry, but you're destroying what's good in a character. Of course, we had Nightwing, we had Tempest, and last but not least, Wally West Flash. For the overall story rating in this, I give a 5 out of 10. Until then, let's keep it colourful and have yourself an awesome day.